Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasairos. So it comes out today. More Epstein files were released today. And Jeffrey Epstein, he predicts in 2013, he says that Trump the rat, that's what he calls Trump. He says, Trump the rat, if he's backed in a corner, from the Epstein files or just in any corner in general, I have to watch the video again. I have to see what was exactly said. But he says if Trump is backed in a corner, that he will escalate a situation and that he will attack Iran to focus everyone's attention on the conflict instead of the Epstein files. And you just got to say to yourself, you just have to think to yourself, Trump, he thinks he's like this master deal maker. Like nobody can ever play him, that he's always going to come out on top. And for a lot of years, that's true. It seems like whatever Trump does, he just wins. But I'll tell you, this one loss that Trump is going to have on his record, it's literally going to make the entire planet blow up. He's going to be the reason why humanity doesn't exist anymore. And you're going to be like, well, you're being quite dramatic. We're talking about nuclear weapons involved here. Stop being naive that this situation can't escalate into World War III, where nuclear weapons are used. So this one loss that Trump is going to have on his record, where he finally loses, talk about the biggest loss of them all. I believe that Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, and this just confirms even more that Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Israeli government when you watch this video. And I really believe that this plan was in motion for way before Trump was even thinking about running for president of the United States of America. Like, what a crazy coincidence that these Epstein files drop in Trump's second term. Do you really think that's a coincidence? He can't do this. He pretty much can't do this in his first term. But he could do it in his second term, meaning bomb Iran, because, he's not going to run again. I think he's going to try to run again. He shouldn't be allowed, but we all know that he's going to try. Perfect timing. Gee, what a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence at all. I believe that Benjamin Netanyahu and the psychotic, murderous regime, the out-of-control country named Israel, I believe that this has been planned all along. They've been planning this for years. They have known Miriam Adelson, all of Trump's huge Jewish donors. They have known that if they can get President Trump elected and they can get him to his last term, they're going to pull out these Epstein files and they're going to be like, you better do exactly what we say or your name's going down in mud forever. I mean, it already is. It's already there. I'm a little bit confused. I mean, think about this too. Joe Biden and Barack Obama are obviously as corrupt as they come also. But Barack Obama, Hussein wasn't in the Epstein files. That's probably because he likes boys, but hey, that's a whole different video. Joe Biden wasn't in the Epstein files, but President Trump was. So when you look at the past presidents, what did they really have on? And those presidents are corrupt as they come, and they are Israel first. But even those corrupt presidents probably said to themselves, like, wow, if we do this, if we attack Iran, this could literally cause World War III. And even those pieces of, it's not like I like them. I'm not saying something positive about Hussein Obama or Joe Biden. I think they're the scum of the planet. But even those corrupt pieces of garbage knew, well, I'm not going to cross that line. I'm not going to step over that boundary. And I believe that this rogue nation, this satanic nation of Israel, they've been playing Trump all along. We're talking about, Trump probably talked about the idea of becoming president. We all know his ego's through the roof. And they probably sat there and like with their ears perked up. They probably went back. They had a little huddle, Netanyahu, Epstein, the whole Israeli lobby, Ben Shapiro. They probably had a little huddle and they all huddled up and they're like, well, if we get him elected, he's corrupt enough, crazy enough, and we got him in the files here. We could really get him to do what we want. Break on three. Ready, break. They huddled up and they got Trump. Wow. Talk about, Trump, the ultimate winner. Sir, you see Mike Tyson, he loses. He's kind of able to rebound. You see certain athletes, they take a loss. They're able to come back. But when you think about this loss for President Trump and his name and his legacy, I was looking at the statistics or the polls, and they're saying that, most MAGA voters are still with Trump. And I do believe that, because you do have some MAGA people that, they wouldn't pick up and read a newspaper for $1 million. It's just because he's Trump and they got the hat and they just, the Make America Great Again slogan is imprinted in their brain. So there's no talking to them. There's no getting through to them. And then when you try to explain it to them, well, how is putting America first when Trump is obviously doing this for Israel? It's obviously not America first. And they'll just be like, well, I trust President Trump. I trust whatever. You really can't talk to people like that. Do I think that there's people still like that? Yeah, absolutely. But the people that really know what's going on, Alex Jones has supported Trump his whole life. He comes out on his show yesterday. The first thing he says is like, it's over. Israel is totally controlling Trump. Trump is owned by Israel. That's his, one of his number one soldiers. So let's watch this video with Jim Dore.
Ever broadcast on TV happened from this guy. And I'll tell you who this guy is. His name is Fod Izadi. He's an associate professor at the University of Tehran. He teaches American studies and international relations. He's a prominent commentator specializing in U.S.-Iran relations, American foreign policy, and public diplomacy. He holds a PhD in American studies from Louisiana State University and degrees in economics and mass communications from the University of Houston. So listen to what he had. This is pretty awesome. Let's listen.
Where do you see this going? Is there an off-ramp for Iran?
I think what will happen is that even if the United States is able to kill illegally Iranian leaders, the next generation of Iranians, the Iranians that did not see American atrocities in Iran before 1979, some Iranians that did not understand why their parents and grandparents were anti-American, those Iranians will take over. Now they understand why American government is an imperialist, vicious government, and a government that attacks other countries and kills little children. They understand they're fighting the Epstein class that either rape little girls or bomb little girls. This is the government that we are witnessing. They're going to fight back against that government, and they're going to ensure that the Islamic Republic of Iran will live many years after America destroys itself.
Wow, he calls them the Epstein class, saying that the American government bombs little girls and covers up for, the Epstein class sexually assaulting them. Whew.
How he referred to it as the Epstein class. This is the United States Epstein class doing a war on Iran. That's pretty
accurate.
Pretty accurate, pretty devastating. Pretty fantastic. By the way, in 2013, Jeffrey Epstein was emailing for...
Every person on the planet's life is in danger right now because of pedophiles. Gee, talk about, what a quality group of people that you should really risk your life for. Pedophiles.
Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak hoping for a U.S. strike on Iran. Did you know this? Here, I'll show it to you. He says, Jeffrey Epstein, to the former Prime Minister of Israel, he says, hopefully Someone suggests getting authorization now for Iran. The Congress would do it. So that's, boy, I never saw a guy speak more sixth grade level on his. If you look at his emails, it's all that kind of choppy. There's no complete sentences. There's no big thought. There's no good writing. It's always just garbage like that. It's always just garbage.
Smartest guy in the room, AC.
Smartest guy in the room. He can't. I mean, drunk and half asleep, I would put something together more eloquent than he. He goes, hopefully, someone suggests getting authorization now for Iran. The Congress would do it. That's a period. I mean, it's anyway. But actually, Epstein actually speculated that Trump, if cornered like a rat, could trigger a larger conflict, including bombing Iran, like a crisis, and the rally public support. You think so? Trump seems to be cornered like a rat because his popularity is tanked. It's done. He's already screwed over his MAGA base. They're completely decimated. You got people like Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, who are way more popular than Trump, say they have left MAGA. Candace Owens said he ended MAGA when he said everybody was an idiot if they wanted to see what was inside the Epstein files. She said that was when it ended. I think it ended when he bombed Iran. And now he's bombing it again. It's super over. But
I agree. It's been over for a while. I mean, let's not forget the Charlie Kirk assassination, Trump getting on TV saying Americans aren't smart enough to do these jobs and we have to import 300,000 foreigners to take Americans' jobs. Then, the original thing that Trump said was, you still want, who's talking about the Epstein files? It was literally like the record in the club that just went, and everybody just looks at him and the lights go on. That's what it was like. It's over. And then the Iran bombing is just the icing on the cake where we know that Trump is not controlling. He's not the president of the United States right now. You voted for Trump. You got Benjamin Netanyahu. That's who's running our country right now.
But here, watch this. Watch somebody put together this video showing you Jeffrey Epstein saying if Trump is cornered like a rat, he'll start a larger conflict like bombing Iran. Let's watch. So here. So I don't know if can you see this? Should I make it big? Let me go make it bigger. So this is Jeffrey Epstein saying Trump pulling troops out of Syria is a bad sign. He's up.
Okay, that's in 2018, December 20th, 2018. He's predicting this in 2018.
To something, and it's not good. That's really? Okay, keep going. Oh, here, okay, I'll read this to you. It says, cornering a rat, never good idea, says Jeffrey Epstein. You guys need to understand that he is psychotic and would not blink twice at encouraging an attack on us so he can leap to the country's defense. Mindset. If I go down, I'm taking everyone with.
Is he talking about us as in Israel or America or Bahamas where he...
I mean, it sounds like to me that sounds like Benjamin Netanyahu because that's exactly what he would do.
I don't know when he says us. Do you think he means Israel?
I mean, who? I don't know.
Well, either Israel or the United States. He would not blink twice, encouraging an attack on Israel or the United States, so he can leap to the country's defense. There's more to this. I think there's one more. So cornering a rat, never a good idea. Down here, we only had 2,000 troops there. If he were to bomb Iran, they would be slaughtered. Could be he doesn't want them there if a much bigger operation might put them in jeopardy. Reminder, he will take everyone down with him if he feels the end is near. I always urge people not to corner a rat. They become extremely dangerous and unpredictable. So is he talking about Trump or is he talking about Netanyahu?
Why do they redact the names in it? Because then we'd know.
Right. So we don't know. We just know it. We know it came from Jeffrey Epstein. And then, yeah. But we don't know exactly who he's saying it to. Anyway, there it is.
So what that proves right there is that Epstein worked for the Israeli government, and it's as clear as day. So when you have people like Patrick Bet-David saying that there's no way that that Epstein worked for the Israeli government to feed that to his audience, for the Ben Shapiro's, the Mark Levins, Fox News, Dershowitz, Sean Hannity, oh, Epstein didn't work for the Israeli government. That's a total lie. What are you all talking about? It's clear as day that he worked for the Israeli government.
So yeah, that was a pretty good takedown, calling it the Epstein class.
I want to hear more from these supposed bad dictator countries where they call America out. Well, we don't need kids like you.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I have nothing. Oh, is the Ayatollah bad? Do we have him on record eating kids? Because I bet we would hear about it if he did. I couldn't wait to tell you if they eat children. I haven't heard that about any of these enemies.
All right, let me move on from this. So the other new talking point that Trump is throwing out there, Marco Rubio is throwing out there, Patrick Bet-David, all, the typical mouthpieces for this attack on Iran, because Iran had they weren't going to attack the United States of America. So the new talking point is this. I love how Trump, Rubio, the Patrick Bet-Davids of the world, the Ben Shapiros, the Mark Levins, they're all calling these Iranians that they're fanatics, that they're religious fanatics, and they're extremists. And that's the way the words that they use to describe the Iranian regime and the Iranian government, which I think is totally laughable. So in the same breath, you'll say that about the Iranians, but you don't say that about Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, that they aren't fanatics. They're as fanatical as they come. They're willing to, they already killed 1 million Palestinians just for the land. Our military is being told, our soldiers are being told by their commanders, by their superiors, that you're fulfilling a biblical prophecy and you should be honored that you're going to die for another country named Israel, even though you joined the American military to fight for your country, that you're fulfilling a biblical prophecy. But according to Trump and his whole gang, that's not fanatical. It's not fanatical that the United States government in Israel blew up a school in Iran that killed 300 schoolgirls. It was an all-girls school, I should say. No, there's nothing fanatical about that. And they're not stopping there. The United States government in Israel is not stopping at Iran. Israel's already threatening Turkey and all the surrounding countries because it's all about expanding Israel's borders. And this plan has been set. This has been in motion for years. Now, I don't know what Trump did or didn't do on the island. I have no clue. But there has to be some reason that he's willing to start World War III to divert your attention from the Epstein files so you focus on him bombing a nation that had no intention of bombing the United States of America. And all the talking heads, the Adam Sosnicks, the PBDs, the Shapiros, the Levins, the Dershowitzes, everybody that walks around and screams anti-Semite, you're an anti-Semite if you don't agree with this. President Trump, Rubio, J.D. Vance, they're all calling the Israeli government and a good portion of the they're all calling the Iran government and a good portion of the Iranian people, they're referring to them as fanatics and extremists. But those adjectives don't get used for Benjamin Netanyahu and what the Israeli government is doing to the rest of the world. And it's particularly what they're doing to the United States of America, bringing us to endless wars, giving us endless debt, nothing but pain, it's nothing but pain, debt, and war, and American soldiers' lives being lost. That's what we're getting. But according to the president that you voted for to fix all of this, the real fanatics, there's two real fanatics in this group. They're going to call the Iranian government fanatics, and they're going to call anybody that disagrees with them fanatics. Myself, the Nick Fuenteses, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson. You notice how they're all being attacked, right? Especially Tucker and Candace. Because President Trump and his whole regime, they fear Tucker and Candace the most because they have the largest audiences and largest, ability to impact the way people think, influence, I should say. So they are, Candace and Tucker are being attacked to no end. All the talking heads are going after. They're demons. They're demon possessed. They're not American. They want to see America burn. All because they're telling the truth what's going on, and all because they have the largest audiences. That's all it is. It's because of their influence. And if Candace and Tucker didn't have that type of influence, they wouldn't be saying that. I'm a complete nobody when it comes to this space. I mean, the amount of people that watch my videos. So they don't really care what I'm saying. But if I had Candace's audience, if I had Tucker's audience, I'd be public enemy number one. I'd be a demon. I'd be an anti-Semite. He'd need to be canceled. We all know the playbook now. The playbook just doesn't work anymore. And it's over for Trump. It's completely over. Everybody knows he's bought and paid for. Everybody knows he's not in control of the country. Again, Alex Jones, one of his most loyal soldiers, first thing he says yesterday on his show, talking to Nick Fuentes, Trump is totally controlled by Israel. He's not running our government. He's not the president of the United States of America. We voted for Trump. We're getting Benjamin Netanyahu. And that's it. It's the only way to, it's like sickening. I'm having even trouble talking today because it's just literally, it's sickening. And you see how long this was planned. You see Obama was president for 8 years and he was sending Iran buckets of money, billions of dollars of money. Biden, as corrupt as he was, you see all these corrupt presidents and even they wouldn't cross that boundary. But who crossed the boundary? Who's at the point of no return? Donald J. Trump. That's who. That's sick. It's just absolutely sickening. So let me move on to the next thing because I'm getting nauseated. So now we have all these radical liberal judges that Joe Biden appointed in our country. We had in Connecticut. You're going to be like, oh, you're not going to believe it when I say this. You're going to be like, you're exaggerating. You're just adding on to a story. I'm not adding on to anything. In Connecticut, you had another Senegalese resident. He was an illegal alien. He decided to take an axe and hack somebody to death and eat a part of their brain and eat their eyeball. Cannibalism. And when you hear this, you're just like, yeah, there's no way that that's real news. Like you're adding to the story. And what does liberal Massachusetts do? What do they do? The judge said they did a review of this defendant's mental health, his clinical progress, they called it. His clinical progress. And they decided to let this man out of prison. He's walking the streets. He hacked an American citizen to death with an axe. He ate his brain or her brain. It doesn't list the victim. Ate the person's eyeball. And this liberal George Soros appointed judge lets this individual out of prison. Oh, what do you think that he might do again? You don't think he's going to go kill somebody again? You don't think he's going to eat somebody? Oh, you think that's going to be his only victim? I mean, it's not bad enough that you murdered somebody. Oh, let me taste their brain. Let me taste their eyeball. And it's amazing. Trump is keeping Israel safe. The Bonginos of the world. My greatest accomplishment as FBI director was keeping Israel safe. We have people in our country here illegally that are murdering our citizens and eating parts of their body. And Trump's too busy to deal with this. That's where we're at in the country. Then you had the woman, Stephanie Minter. I think she was from Virginia. She was definitely from the South, part of the South. And another resident from Sierra Leone, an illegal alien, he decided to stab her over 50 times at a bus stop for no reason at all. No interaction, didn't know each other, nothing. He just walked up to her and, you know, oh, you're the wrong color to me. I don't like you. I'm going to stab you 50 times. And the police in the town and the law enforcement in the town were making complaints. They were saying this illegal alien, he's dangerous. He's going to kill somebody. He's capable of anything. Our government knew this. Our FBI knew it. They knew it. And you know what they did? They didn't do shit. They didn't do anything. They knew this man was totally out of control, and they did absolutely nothing. So a woman that was minding her own business, taking a bus somewhere, she gets hacked into pieces 50 or 60 times. And President Trump and Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance, they have more important things to do than deport the 55 million illegal people that are in the United States of America, killing our citizens, sexually assaulting them, fraud, stealing money left and right, doing all the things that they're doing. But the United States government and President Trump, they're too busy for that. They're too busy to keep you safe. They're too busy to stop the fraud. They're too busy to deport people. They're concerned with expanding Israel's borders as our people here are literally having their brains and eyeballs eaten. And you're good. You know what this will turn into? You know what this will turn into if you watch this? You'll be like, that guy behind that camera, meaning me, that he's a lunatic. He's a lunatic. That's what you'll call me for reading you the report of what's going on in the country with a lot of illegal aliens who are hacking our citizens and eating them. And I'll get called the lunatic for reporting on it. I'm the problem, right? Oh, man. It's just really sickening. It really is. So Christine Noem, she gets fired. And look, there's some speculation to Christine Noem why she got fired. Some people say that Christine Noem was having an affair. I could give two shits less if the woman was having an affair. I really don't care. Then there's reports they didn't like that she was using a private plane to travel. It's like, I don't care. Like, I don't care about any of that. Let me read it. So they're saying that she's fired for all these reasons, and then they get to this reason. Trump and the administration are saying, well, 2 people were killed in Minnesota. You know, those 2 idiots that got killed who were trying to interfere with ICE doing their job. You know, who decided that they were going to impede law enforcement's ability to do their job, ramming them with cars. They end up dead. And somehow that's Kristi Noem's fault. Like, you got 50 million people illegally in the country who obviously don't give a shit about our laws here, who obviously don't care because they're here illegally. So obviously they think the laws don't apply to them. And you don't think there's going to be some collateral damage every now and then getting these people out of here? It's like the American public. It's just amazing when these illegals kill an American citizen. You don't give one shit. You don't care. The Joe Rogans of the world don't care. All these idiots, these YouTubers, who's the other guy? It looks like a Fed heavyset guy, Dylan, whatever his name is, the so-called comedian, Seth Dillon. Nobody cares when they kill an American. Nobody cares. When they're eating their brains, when they're sexually assaulting a 6-year-old, it's like you don't hear anything. You'll hear crickets. You hear nothing. But it's like, oh, if a protester gets killed, that's protesting, deporting these people, or the illegal alien himself gets killed, it's like everybody loses their mind. Like you've been conditioned to feel bad for the bad guy. But the hardworking American citizen, the 8-year-old girl that was on her way to the playground to, swing on a swing, who will never see another day of life. I don't see any of you saying anything. I don't see Joe Rogan saying Nothing. Crickets, like I said. So cry me a river. Cry me a river. If you're a protester, you have the right to stand on the sidewalk with your sign. Do what you do. It's all good. You think you're going to be cute with your car and you're going to cut off ICE agents and you're going to scream and yell in their face. And after they told you to back up 19 times, you're going to fall, like you're going to get right here up on them. Meanwhile, they're not sure if you're armed or what you're up to because you clearly have no self-control at all. And then when one of you shitheads get killed, it's like Kristi Noem's got to lose her job. And everybody in America is outraged. This is the problem with America. It really is. This is the problem with America and Americans. It's like we have this attitude towards each other like, oh, who gives a shit? He's American. He should have known better. Like somehow it was their fault that they got killed by an illegal drunk driver. Do I see anybody losing their minds when that happens other than that family that it happened to? No, not at all. But they show you a video of a guy that's in the country, obviously illegally. He's getting handcuffed. He's resisting. The cops rough him up a little bit to put him in the car, and everybody goes fucking crazy. It's like, what is wrong with you? What don't you comprehend? You know, I know this is very hard for the liberal, especially liberals. I know this is very difficult for the liberal brain to understand because everything with you is based off of emotion. But it's almost like the law-abiding citizens in this, you have no problem taking a good shit on them. It's like, oh, you follow. This is what they want. This is what they want. If you're a law-abiding citizen that was born in the country, go to work, pay your taxes, and no matter what we do to you, no matter what we fill your neighborhood with, no matter how much crime gets committed against you, don't say anything about it. Shut your mouth, pay your taxes, don't complain. If you're white, you're supposed to vote Republican. If you're black, you're supposed to vote Democrat. Don't say a word to us. We are going to ruin your communities, black, white, everybody. We can't control your vote. You know what we're going to do? We're going to put 1 million illegals in every state from all over the world. It's not just one group, because right away it'll be, oh, you don't like Hispanic people. If you're against illegal immigration, right away it's like being an illegal alien has nothing to do with being Hispanic. There's people from all over the world. It's always the go-to. You're like, yeah, I'm not for illegal immigration. Oh, you don't like Mexicans. It has nothing to do with it. Just because that's a gateway country where most of these people come from. It always gets turned into something else. You're like, I do not want one illegal person in the country. You should have to be here vetted. You should have to be here legally. You should have to prove you're not going to be a burden to the welfare system. You shouldn't be getting anything for free. That includes healthcare until every American gets healthcare for free. Okay, you become a citizen, you get everything that Americans get. You're not a citizen, you don't get anything. But we do it the reverse. We're the complete opposite in America. Oh, hardworking American citizens that pay their taxes, we're going to tax you some more. You drive on the road, there's tolls. You get taxed on everything. And these corrupt pieces of garbage that run our government, run our school system, run our state, run our town, they never have enough money. We're broke. We're broke. We're broke. And why are they broke? Why are they broke? Last year alone, and I seen on the news, the state of New Jersey, which is a small state, they spent $10 billion on illegals, and the state has like the highest property taxes in the nation. Tolls through the roof, everything through the roof, but you got $10 billion for illegals, and you don't think that money, the American taxpayers paying that, and you don't think that's an issue? You don't think that's a problem? Of course it's a problem. And you could try to guilt me all you want. Oh, you have no empathy. You know what? Don't want to hear it. I got my own problems. So I think a bunch of criminals that broke the law should become before American citizens. No, I don't. And I don't care where they come from. They could have been from Mexico. They could have been from Iceland. They could have been from Australia. They could have been from Sudan, Africa. I don't give a shit where they come from. I'd be saying the same exact thing. If you're not here in the country legally, you need to go. We'll give you 30 to 60 days to leave on your own. We'll give you some money to leave because, and I know, a lot of people, you shouldn't give them anything, blah, 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 blah. Listen, you got to understand what the other side does, what Democrats do. You have to understand the liberal mind. You can't give these people ammunition. You can't just, for the most part, grab them by the collar or drop them off because it's like, oh, you drop these people off. They'll use that as ammunition come campaign time. So you give them some money to leave. In the long, even though you spent some money, in the long run, it's saving you money. If you gave every one of them $1,000, if you gave 55 million illegals $1,000 to leave, you're like, oh, that's a lot of money. Guess what? It would still save you money in 1 year. The amount of money that they're giving these people with healthcare, with business loans that they don't ever have to pay back, fraudulent businesses, what's going on in Minnesota and with the Somalians. They stole $9 billion. There's people in jail right now that there's American citizens in prison right now that shoplifted $1,000 and they're sitting in fucking jail. It's like, what is going on here? And you know what's going on here? You know what's going on? Because the Republicans and Democrats, they're the same party. And they know the American population's getting fed up. So what will they do? We'll just get new voters. We'll just bring in new voters. We'll give them everything. And then they'll vote for one specific party the rest of their life. And we can control everything. It's almost like the excuse. The excuse you hear all the time is like, oh, they do jobs that Americans don't want to do, meaning illegals. And that's total garbage. No, what would happen is if you got rid of all the illegals, it would force these companies to pay American workers and citizens a decent wage. So if you really cared about these illegals, like these Democrats say, you would tell them, if you want to have the best life here in America possible, you need to come legally, because then that gives you the right to ask for more money when it's time to go to work. But hey, when you're giving them everything for free for their vote, I guess it doesn't really make a difference anyway. But you have to remember what you're dealing with here. You have to remember what Democrats and liberals are. It's just an absolute disgrace what's going on in this country. And Americans, we're sick of it. The American population's sick of it. So President Trump and the United States government, they prioritize Israel. They prioritize illegals. And now you have Joe Biden that appointed all these radical liberal judges that don't enforce the law when they kill our citizens. The George Soros funded, district attorneys and prosecutors. So now when these illegal lunatics that think they're going to eat somebody's brain after they murder them, our judicial system is so corrupt and so inadequate that now we don't prosecute the criminal. And let's just say hypothetically, they broke in your house and you defended yourself with a certain thing, you'll be in jail. So we have an entire breakdown of our system. If you don't have a border, you don't have a country. If you don't have a criminal system that works properly, you have pandemonium. It's just total chaos. That's where we are right now in the United States of America. And we have a lunatic, and the real lunatic and the real fanatic is Benjamin Netanyahu. And that's who the president of our country is. That's who President Trump is letting control our country. So we are decaying from the inside. The world is in total chaos because we have a weak leader as president of the United States. He's weak. He's weak. He's corrupt. And at this point, he's not turning back because he's got to take your attention off the Epstein files to focus on a war that we shouldn't be in. Is Barron Trump going to join the military and fight? Are J.D. Vance's kids going to join the military and fight? Is Ben Shapiro's kids going to get in there? What about you, Harry Mark Levin, smelly Mark Levin? Is your garbage family going to join the military and fight? Oh, but the Goyim can handle that. That's the going. That's all they're good for. Let's see who Kristi Noem's replacement is. He looks like a real cowboy. He looks like he's from the show Yellowstone. Let's get him, boys. Got to get me some legals out of here. But hey, I mean, if they're mad at Kristi Noem because 2 people got killed, what do you make? Why would he do his job? Let me see. Mark Wayne Mullen. Who is Mark Wayne Mullen? Got the sniffles every time the mic goes on. Who is Mark Wayne Mullen? Named by Trump to replace Kristi Noem as Homeland Security Secretary. President Donald Trump on Thursday announced he was ousting Department of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, and the GOP Senator Mark Wayne Mullen of Oklahoma would replace her. Mullen, a first-term senator who has served in that role since 2023, is a former mixed martial artist and business owner who is a strong supporter of Trump's hardline immigration policy. Well, here's the problem I have with this. An enrolled member of the Cherokee Nation, Mullen is the first tribal citizen to serve in the U.S. Senate in nearly 2 decades. Well, you know what? We're going to have to get a DNA test because that's like the popular thing to say now. All these politicians claim that they're American Indians. So we might have to do a DNA test like Pocahontas, whatever. I forgot her friggin' name. The one that Trump used to rip all the time. Mark Wayne Mullen. Let me look it up again. No, here we go. James Telereco, the guy that he just won the primary in Texas for the Democrats. Here we go. This is what his post. Mark Wayne Mullen replied to this. I got to read this real quick. I'm getting off topic. God is non-binary. Did they teach you in Sunday school that Jesus Christ himself was a radical feminist? Our border should be like our front porch. There should be a giant welcome mat. This is who Democrats want to be the next U.S. Senator from Texas, of all places. Mark Wayne Mullen responded to that. Typical Democratic behavior. You know, the word, they don't understand the word legal and illegal, and they can't comprehend because their liberal brains won't let them comprehend that if you come into the country illegally, that you committed a crime because they need voters. That's their voting base. Mark Wayne Mullen. Hold on, let me look it up one more time. Mark Wayne Mullen, rancher. I want to try to pull him up in his cowboy hat. There he is. Come on, boss. Meet Mark Wayne Mullen, the new multimillionaire head of DHS, who owns a cattle ranch in Oklahoma. Look at that. But let's get him. Got some legals we got to take care of, boss. Let's go. After months of infighting over the Department of Homeland's handling of ICE immigration crackdown, President Trump announced on Thursday that he will replace Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem with Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen, a junior senator hailing from the state of Oklahoma. Trump, I don't get what the problem is. I don't really understand. You're sending mixed messages out here. You're mad at Kristi Noem because she was being aggressive. You're known for your aggressive policies, correct? Well, if Kristi Noem was being aggressive, wasn't that what she was hired to do? Wasn't that what she was hired to do? I don't care about the jets. I don't care about the affair. Was she doing her job the way you hired her to do it? Didn't you hire Kristi Noem to crack down and be hard on illegals, breaking the laws, committing crimes in the United States of America? So can somebody explain this to me? Don't make it personal. I don't want to hear about the jet. I don't want to hear about the affair. I don't want to hear about any of that. I want to hear about the policy she was enforcing. She was known as a person that was aggressive doing her job, correct? You got 50 million people in the country illegally. Again, you don't think there's going to be any collateral damage? You don't think it's going to get bloody? You don't think when you're doing interior immigration enforcement with people that are already here that have no respect for our law, you don't think they're going to fight back and be aggressive with you? So, like, how do you want to treat these people, Trump? You want to treat the illegals with kid gloves when they break the law? Is that what you want? I got to turn this off because it's making the it's making my live slow down. So I got to turn that article off. But you know, oh, and here's another thing that Trump said the other day, and Patrick Bet-David was pushing this ridiculous narrative on his show. I mean, the PBD podcast is another show that just lost all credibility at this point. They were pushing this narrative that because, you know, they don't like the visual of the people getting killed that were protesting ICE. So they were putting this out there that for now on, these Democratic and these liberal states and cities, that they're going to work with ICE. They're going to call ICE when they have a problem. Oh, when you hear this stuff, it's like, what the F are you talking about? So now you think places like Minnesota and New York City and Los Angeles and certain parts of Miami, certain parts of Texas that are all Democrat and liberal, you think they're going to call ICE to deport illegals, to deport their voting base? Now Trump is leaving it up to these cities. Like, oh, as long as you agree to call us when you need help, we'll back off you. That's not the way this needs to be handled at all. You go by the numbers. California, New York City, New Jersey, Oregon, those are like the top 4 states with the most illegals. Texas also, that's like the top 5 states with the most illegals. And you know what you do? You send, maybe you do one state at a time and you send every single agent you have into that one state to grab as many as legals as you can. That's the way you handle this. You don't tell these lunatics, you don't tell these liberal nut jobs who think we should have open borders, who you think that like the Mandanis of the world, who think that somebody who murdered 3 people should be walking the streets still. You don't play let's make a deal. You play it's my way or the highway. And when they threaten you, and when they tell their police force to stand down so you could deal with their bullshit, you know what you do? You say, okay, no problem, pal. We got 10,000 Border Patrol agents. We got 20,000 ICE agents. You know what? I'm just making up numbers. We're sending 30,000 agents to your city, and we're not leaving until everybody's gone. I'm here for 4 years. Let's see how it goes. Click. But when you have a weak leader like Trump, you know what he says? Oh, no, you call me. I'm busy. I'm in Israel. I got to expand Israel's borders. I got to keep Israel safe. I don't have time for American citizens, what they voted me to do. I'm going to let these Democratic and liberal wackos contact me when they need my help. Yeah, that really sounds like a plan, Trump. That really sounds like a real strong plan. Just a total clown. Just a total clown. Really is just a clown show. San Francisco mayor, let's look up this article real quick. Not that I really even need to read it to you. San Francisco mayor says city is broken. As of March 2026, San Francisco Mayor Daniel Lurie has declared that the city's government is broken and needs a reset, specifically pointing to a bloated city charter that serves special interests rather than residents. Wow, does that sound familiar? Does that sound like President Trump right now? Something that the Republican Party is not supposed to do, act like the Democratic Party? Your government has failed you, Republicans and Democrats. Democrats want Democrats want the entire United States of America like our interior of the United States, just to be like a total open border. And Trump is on the other side of the world bombing countries that had no intention of bombing us. Your government has failed you, both sides. They have failed you. Lori is proposing reforms to increase accountability and improve efficiency following his election as a centrist, focused on a tougher, more efficient management. Well, you know, when you let Democrats and liberals control things, that's what you get. You get San Francisco, you get Manhattan, you get every major city in America, a total war zone, a dump, super high bloated taxes, crime everywhere, illegals everywhere. San Francisco, they don't even know what a toilet is. People are taking dumps in the street. This is the United States of America. At one time, San Francisco used to be a beautiful place. It's not a third world country. It's not tent city. It's like, but the people, and the amazing thing too is like the residents that live in these places, they will complain and they'll pout and they'll get mad, and then they'll still vote for the same type of people to run their city or their town or their state. It's just, you cannot fix this mental disorder. But here's the problem that I have, and you're like, why are you putting this on Trump? You know why I'm putting this on Trump? Because he's the most powerful man in America. He's the president of the United States of America, the most powerful man in the world. More powerful than Benjamin Netanyahu. I know that's hard to believe. More powerful than Russia, more powerful than China. And he can't even get our cities in control in the United States of America. See, this is what we elected Trump to do, to clean it all up. Whether it was in Washington, D.C. with the swamp creatures or the criminals in our streets or the illegals, we elected Trump to clean it up. Government, mayors, cities, crime, illegal, clean it up. That's what we elected you to do. And how can Trump do any of that right now when his main focus is keeping Israel, our greatest ally, safe? So once again, it's America last. And I wish I could report to you some positive things. I wish I had something good to say. I wish I could tell you that Trump is putting America first. I'd be screaming Trump, Trump, Trump from the rooftops. I'd be decorating my Christmas tree over and over every single day, pretending like it's Christmas. But guess what? It's not. And it isn't going to get better anytime soon. And we better find a candidate that's going to put America first, or we're going to keep doing the same old thing over and over and over again. And guess what? Our country is only going to get worse. So you can keep being in denial all you want, and I'll keep telling the truth and living in reality, because that's where the country is headed. It's headed for total disaster. Trump kept bragging, the golden age, 2026 is the golden age. Patrick Bet-David, it's the golden age, America's golden age. Really? This is how you start the golden age? Starting World War III with a country that wasn't going to bomb you, expanding Israel's borders? That's all this is about, is expanding their borders. Covering up a pedophile ring, the biggest pedophile ring in history? That's the golden age? Yeah, sounds golden to me. Stay golden, pony boy. And I'm going to end it with that. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.